If you were going to categorize it or frame how those attacks have ramped up and why they matter, you have to take into consideration social media, Trump, and just the pandemic. Obviously, they've ramped up. You're a very public person. Is there anything you can say about the type of threats and criticism you've been receiving for promoting the greatest miracle man has ever created in science?
Well, it's, the anti-vaccine movement has become a political movement first and foremost. It didn't start out that way. It started out, with grassroots organizations, then well-funded non-governmental organizations, and that thread still exists, with all the craziness about autism, which I've been debunking for years and years. But because of my daughter who has autism, and I wrote that book, Vaccines Did Not Cause Rachel's Autism.
How old is Rachel now?
She's going to be 30
Yeah.
in the fall. So, and then about 7-8 years ago, it went from autism, although that thread still exists, to becoming a political movement around this phony concept of health freedom, medical freedom. And that's when it got adopted by what was then called the Republican Tea Party here in Texas, and now manifests as that partisan divide in vaccination rates for COVID, which has, the New York Times even calls it red COVID, where we've had the overwhelming number of people have lost their lives since last May, when vaccines became freely and widely available, is almost all in red states and red counties. And the redder the county, the greater the loss of life. And that's the hardest, Pete, for me to talk about, because, our training as physicians and scientists, as you're supposed to be politically neutral, right? You're supposed to be not talk about Republicans and Democrats or liberals or conservatives. We're supposed to be beyond that. But what do you do when it's so clearly along a partisan divide? I just haven't found a way to talk about it without talking about it. Not that I don't care if you've got conservative views or even extreme conservative views. That's your business. What I'm trying to figure out a way is to uncouple the anti-science and anti-vaccine activism out of it, to say it doesn't belong. It's not helpful for you. It's causing too much loss of life. And in the new book that I've just finished writing, it's hopefully with the copy editors now at Johns Hopkins University Press, says that 200,000 Americans lost their lives needlessly because they refused a vaccine in the last half of 2021 in that Delta wave. 200,000. I mean, this is why it matters to talk about, because it's not that I want to talk about Republicans and Democrats, but 200,000 people needlessly lost their lives, and because of allegiance to this thing. I don't know what this thing is. And they didn't have to die.